Hello, my name is Ken Crowley. I'm Superintendent of Fleet Services for the Village of Oak Park. I've been with the village for over 30 years now. I've been Superintendent of Fleet for the last 8. Oak Park is a suburb that borders the west side of Chicago. We have over 50,000 residents, we cover 4.5 square miles, and we are responsible for around 250 pieces of equipment. We are very dense. I'll be talking with you today about our most recent entry into the EV world, how we did it, and some of the potential obstructions and pitfalls. I'd like to take all the credit for our successful project, but truth be told, I was just in the right place at the right time. It was a group effort between fleet services, engineering, parking, and street lighting. Discussion started in 2018 about a parking lot project for our village hall. I was not aware of any funding for EV charging stations or vehicles, so I suggested infrastructure for future charging stations be included, which caused me to be assimilated into another committee. We discovered between all the divisions involved in the project, we were able to plan, fund, and install all the charging stations that we would need the first year and then some. This included all the planned municipal vehicles, as well as providing more stations for the public. Our parking department had funds and was in the process of planning locations. This in turn allowed us to invest in replacing some of our ICE vehicles with EVs. It was always the chicken or the egg question. Do we get EVs first or dedicated charging stations first? There are several good EV charging station providers out there right now. We went with a data-rich charging system. You can't improve what you don't measure. We were able to see how much all our stations throughout the village are providing for our vehicles, as well as non-village vehicles that partake in our stations. Funding is always an issue, and we are constantly looking for ways to offset our costs for data plans, maintenance plans, charging stations, as well as the EVs themselves. We researched who EVs would be a good fit for by seeing how far they drive, where they parked, what they needed to carry, and if they had open minds. We used a combination of end-user interviews and telematics reports. We have found talking with the frontline workers gives us the most accurate vision of needs, wants, and expectations, while making sure they will still be able to fulfill their different duties. This helps with the buy-in from the end users as well. These are not the best fit for all our users. Demonstrating some of the newer features and creature comforts of the EVs helped in our successful EV adoption. Talking to all the manufacturers out there is a must. You need to make sure which vehicle and what options will be the best fit for your end users. The vehicle we went with had the choice of 2 batteries. We went with the standard battery with a 150-mile range over the larger one with a 226-mile range. Being 4.5 square miles, the added $5,000 plus expense did not make fiscal sense for our purposes. Bigger is not always better. If we were a larger community or did not have access to level 2 chargers, the added expense could have been justified. Among some of the benefits to the EVs are no gasoline, no oil changes, no tune-ups, no belts to change, and extended brake life. Vehicles are not in the shop for maintenance as often, so they may remain on the street being productive instead of in the shop for maintenance. Other benefits, especially for individuals working out of their vehicles, EVs are quiet, no engine running. EVs require dedicated parking, making it easier for the end user at the end of the day to find a spot. Some models allow you to time the climate controls to adjust the interior to your liking before you even get to the vehicle. Being a government agency, these vehicles will eventually make their way to the general public, helping displace ICE vehicles. And sometimes there are collateral perks as well. Our village attorney was inspired to purchase an EV once our new stations were installed. He loves it. Oak Park actually acquired our first EV 10 years ago in 2011. It has 10 car batteries, is stick shift, has a top speed of around 35 miles per hour, and plugs into a wall outlet. This vehicle was never fully embraced by whichever division we assigned it to. It is currently used by my division to shuttle vehicles and staff back and forth from our public works and village hall. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, there were only approximately 18,000 EVs sold in 2011 and almost 330,000 by 2019. Technology is advancing. There are a variety of options out there. It's up to everyone to find out which one is right for them. Everything works for someone, nothing works for everyone. It's not all rainbows and unicorns, though. There are concessions and adjustments to EV adoption. You'll need to keep access in winter conditions. If they can't reach the stations, they can't charge. Do you have enough parking to put spots aside? Having spaces dedicated for EVs will make it more difficult for the ICE drivers to find spots. EV operators need to keep in mind that distance is decreased in colder climates. It takes more energy to heat the interior of an EV than cool it. The EV price of admission is getting closer to the ICE counterparts, but it's not there yet. Government agencies must get creative to take advantage of the tax rebates they are not eligible for. We had to work with a leasing company in order to monetize the federal tax rebate. They took half and applied the other half to the price of the vehicle, getting us to the price point we needed to be. Without that assistance, the return on investment would just not be there. Every situation is different. I am friends with another fleet manager, and she just plugs their EV Level 1 chargers that come with the vehicles into regular outlets each Friday, and they slow charge over the weekend, which is more than enough to get them through a full week. Her vehicles are all parked inside. That doesn't work for us as we park our vehicles outside. There are a lot of questions to be answered before diving into EVs. Where are your vehicles parked? Do you have the infrastructure to support what you need or what the future plans hold? Where will the power come from? Is a local utility able to work with or help you? Is there funding for charging stations, installs, upgrades, data plans, parking designations, etc.? Finding willing participants and providing education is a hurdle many don't think about. Unwilling participants will cause skewed results. The saying, stay away from negative people, they have a problem for every solution, that really applies here. You do need critical eyes to assess the good and the bad for every option, but you need to avoid closed minds that are unwilling or hostile to learn about new ideas. Some questions are easy. What happens if I run out of charge? What happens when you run out of gas? I saw a video once of an EV on fire. Those are dangerous. Your own personal vehicle holds about 20 gallons of a flammable liquid. Have you ever seen a regular car on fire? It's a new world, and education is the key. I was asked one I did have to look up. Will they get electrocuted if they plug their vehicle in to charge in the rain? They won't, but I did have to look up why so I could explain to them. And let's not forget, we are going to have to keep our first responders up to date on EVs and how to interact with this new technology. We need to help them help us in our time of need. The more everyone learns about new technology, the less everything seems different. Everything normal now, smartphones, GPS, the internet, was new and different yesterday. That was the good, the bad, and the ugly. Our journey is not the only path. EVs are not the answer to everyone's question of how do I improve my carbon footprint, clean the air, or improve the environment. They are one of many ways we can make a difference right now. There is no silver bullet, and it's not all or nothing. In Oak Park, we have EVs, hybrids, compressed natural gas vehicles, standard ICE vehicles, and we run B20 biodiesel in all our diesel vehicles. There are uses for each one in our diverse fleet and different working environments. Everyone needs to decide what they can do in greening fleets or in helping draft legislature that makes it easier to do so. Just do what you can, learn from your results, reassess, readjust, and go from there. To conclude, in my humble opinion, all of us interested in, starting to, in the process of, or already neck deep in greening fleets has a responsibility to help others do the same. Like it or not, vehicles touch everyone, from the actual job done, product delivered, and person transported, to the impact that vehicle has on the environment and our world. We are all in this together. Once again, my name is Ken Crowley with the Village of Oak Park. My information is on the screen. Feel free to contact me. I look forward to our Q&A after the presentation. Thank you.